My never-before-seen fiancé has an unforgettable first love and keeps insisting on breaking off our engagement. I kindly advised him, you meet me once before deciding. No need, let us end the engagement early. I don't want to have too much involvement with you. I stared at the message Sean Hoff had sent me on my phone screen. A photo of the girl he had a crush on for years. I curved my lips and replied, fine, don't regret it later. Sean Ho, whoever regrets is a dog, until later, when my arranged marriage partner became his older brother. Sean sneaked into my room in the middle of the night by climbing through the window. A fluffy little dog tail wagged back and forth behind him, looking utterly eager to please. Sister-in-law, it's me, your brother-in-law, can I come in tonight? On my 25th birthday, my father, who is far away in New York, coldly informed me our family has gone bankrupt. Get ready to return to New York for an arranged marriage. Then, he immediately sent me a contact with such speed it seemed premeditated. Yet in the video call, my father was crying his eyes out, snot and tears streaming down his face. My daughter, it's all because your father is useless. The future of our Jiang family depends on you now. You wouldn't want your mother and me to end up sleeping on the streets, would you? Sleeping on the streets? Absolutely not. I quickly clicked on the contact profile. The avatar seemed to be his real photo. Dressed in racing gear, he leaned casually against a car, his waist narrow and legs long. Just a side profile, cold and wild, exactly my type. My dad still cares about me. He set me up with someone embarrassing. I clicked add Sean, who quickly accepted my friend request. I took the initiative to greet him. Hi, I'm Evelyn Jiang. The other side was cold. I'm Sean Ho. Since we're about to get married, I think we should get to know each other first. Sean Ho, no need. I already have someone I love, and I will absolutely never marry you. Oh, so he is trying to give me a warning right off the bat, as if I'm so desperate to marry him. I was about to tell him to get lost, but then I immediately remembered how my father looked in the video. I shamelessly continued texting, we haven't even met, yet are you really so sure you're dissatisfied with me? Sean Hua, it would be the same if we met. We're not compatible. I'll find a way to break off the engagement. I hope you'll cooperate too. Break off the engagement? No, absolutely not. Refusing to give up. I typed rapidly. Is canceling the engagement really the only option? I'm actually quite pretty too, probably no less than her. You definitely gain face taking me out. Feeling it wasn't enough, she immediately followed up with animated sticker, crying cat. Sean Ho, your beauty has nothing to do with me. And she is not just beautiful, she is gentle and kind-hearted, an angel descended from heaven. I never expected Sean Ho to be such a devoted romantic. I've never known what to say to people like this, so I just politely replied, oh. Sean Ho instantly responded, what do you mean by oh? What, you don't believe me? The next second my phone buzzed as a photo came through. From the small image, it looks like a girl, probably the angel Sean mentioned. I just replied with an oh, and Sean couldn't wait to defend her. It's really hard to break into the world of a lovesick fool, sorry dad. Looks like we'll have to sleep on the streets with a heavy heart. I clicked to open the photo. The girl in the photo crouches in the corner, her white skirt stained with mud. She is feeding an orange stray cat, so beautiful, so pure. The angle is exquisite, almost perfect, but isn't this the photo I posted on my alt account back in NYU, pretending to be an innocent white lotus to impress that aloof law school senior. How does Sean have it? The next second Sean sends a voice message. The voice was cold and crisp, yet carried an oddly triumphant tone. So, isn't my white moonlight beautiful? No need to feel too inferior. You won't find anyone more beautiful than her in this world. I've had a crush on her for many years too, a C crush. Now it was my turn to be stunned. I mentally combed through every memory from our 2 years at university. There is no such person as Sean Ho. Why 2 years? Because I was so bored living in California, I took the college entrance exams and went to NYU pretending to be poor for fun. To avoid being discovered, I even changed my name to Serena, shunned taking my mother's surname. Later I realized it was still boring, plus that aloof senior I chased for 3 months never gave me the time of day. New York University still requires female students to run a mile for their final physical education exam. So I simply packed up and ran off to Europe, where I ended up staying for 5 years. Snapping back to reality, I curved my lips and commented, she is quite pretty. But not as pretty as me. Sean exploded, not as pretty as you, seriously. Sis, do you think you're some kind of celestial beauty? He actually called me big sister. Just you wait. I quickly typed, young Master Sean, to be honest with you, what I've been studying all these years in Europe is actually astrology. My father once showed me your birth chart. Judging from your chart and this girl's facial features in the photo, your destined connection in this lifetime is quite precarious. Sean immediately sent a voice message sounding tense. What do you mean by precarious? Why should I believe you? Me, this girl attended university in New York, right? But judging by her facial features, she probably didn't graduate. She is most likely abroad now. You really know how to read faces. Sean took the bait. Then what did you mean by saying it's uncertain between us? Is there any way to fix it? I wasn't in a hurry to reply. I set my phone down and leisurely peeled an orange. The phone kept buzzing nonstop. Sean, say something. Where do you go? Why aren't you replying? If it's uncertain, what should I do? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? I leisurely wiped my fingers clean and replied. Young Master Sean, you know there are certain rules in our line of work. Sean, Venmo transfer of 10,000. Damn, Sean is really generous. I happily accepted the money and replied. The solution is you, and I will marry. Sean, how dare you deceive me? I'm calling off the engagement. I want to break it off with you. Let him call me big sister. Still, Sean, didn't he waste that 10,000? I gave him the correct answer. He just refused to believe it. I ate an orange while typing rapidly. This arranged marriage is a matter between our 2 families. You can't decide this alone. Sean, don't try to pressure me with that family tradition nonsense. I'd rather die than marry you. Me, are you sure about this? Is breaking off the engagement absolutely necessary? Sean, absolutely. Let us terminate the engagement sooner rather than later. I don't want to have too much to do with you. Me, fine, go ahead, and back out, just don't come crying to me later. Sean, whoever regrets it is a dog. 3 days later, I booked a flight back to New York. When Chloe found out I was returning to New York, she started clamoring about how long it had been since she'd been home, and insisted on coming with me. My family only moved to New York 2 years ago, but Chloe, SA local. The very night we landed, Chloe dragged me to a party. Most of her friends were second or third generation heirs from wealthy, influential families. I hadn't wanted to go, but given my family's current situation, it wouldn't hurt to make more connections. They might come in handy someday. But the moment I pushed open the private room door, I bumped into someone who was just about to come out. The door was pulled open again, bringing in a gust of wind. Fuck, who the hell is outside? You wanna die? The words abruptly stopped. The man's forehead was red from the impact. He stared at me blankly, looking a bit dazed. Chloe tugged at my sleeve and whispered, "Don't provoke him. That's Sean Ho, the youngest son of the Hua family, notorious in New York for his fiery temper." I looked at the man before me, high nose bridge, thin lips, fair skin, and long legs. Dressed in a black leather jacket, he exuded an air of icy aloofness. He was 100 times more handsome than in photos, but something about his style felt strangely familiar. That shouldn't be the case with Sean's height and looks. He'd be an unforgettable focal point in any crowd. How come I don't have the slightest impression of him? I hurried forward. "I'm so sorry, are you hurt?" My hand accidentally brushed against the back of Sean's hand, his entire body tensed up as if electrocuted. "And no, I'm fine." Sean didn't even dare look at me, his ears glowing crimson. "It's all my fault for blocking your way. You were right to hit me with the door." His knuckled fingers gripped the doorframe, pushing it closer toward me. "How about you hit me again?" Chloe's eyes widened, instantly stunned. "What the hell? What is going on here?" For they called it a private room, but there's a hidden world inside. You have to walk a bit further after entering before reaching the actual private room. Along the way, Sean led us while glaring fiercely at Chloe's arm linked with mine, his face full of resentment. Chloe shivered slightly. "Don't you suddenly feel very cold?" I shook my head with a smile, then deliberately placed Chloe's hand in my pocket and held it. "That won't feel cold anymore." Chloe cooed, "Darling, you're so sweet." I stole a glance at Sean from the corner of my eye. Sure enough, his face darkened even more. "Sean even gets jealous over a woman. We're here." Sean pushed open the heavy door with one hand, smiling like a high-end male model who's not worth much, but provides excellent service. Chloe muttered under her breath, "What has gotten into Sean today? He actually opened the door for us. If this were before and someone bumped into him, he'd be lucky not to get slammed against the door." Someone sitting nearby spotted Sean first. "Sean, didn't you leave because you were bored? Why are you back?" Sean shot him a fierce glare, and the person quickly shut his mouth. Seeing me look at him, he immediately put on an innocent expression. Chloe pulled me along and introduced, "Everyone, this is my best friend from Europe. Her name is..." "My name is Serena," I interjected. "You can all just call me Serena." Chloe gave me a puzzled look, but didn't say anything more. I was led by Chloe and seated in a slightly left of center position. Only 2 people could fit here. The atmosphere was lively, except for Sean sitting in the corner like a discarded dog. "Baby, I'm stepping out to take a call," Chloe said as she stood up. I had just nodded when before I could react, a dark figure swooshed right in front of me. Yet his face remained cold and aloof. "No one is sitting here, right?" Sean answered his own question. "Then I'll sit with that." He plopped down. Barely suppressing the urge to roll my eyes, I greeted him. "Hello, I'm Serena. I didn't get a chance to ask your name earlier." Sean looked at me with hurt in his eyes. "Sis, you really don't remember me?" I froze. "Sis, what the hell?" Seeing my prolonged silence, Sean spoke dejectedly. "I'm Landon's younger brother. We've met before many times, actually." Langdon isn't he the aloof senior I couldn't get with back at New York University? The floodgates of memory burst open instantly. The image of Langdon's tall, chubby, high school brother wearing a mask flashed through my mind. My eyes widened immediately as I took in the strikingly handsome face before me. "So it's you've grown so tall and handsome in just a few years." Sean blushed at my compliment and lowered his head shyly. "Then do you like it, sis? How does it compare with my brother?" I didn't catch it clearly. "What did you say?" Just as Sean was about to speak, a woman's voice playfully chimed in. "Sean, I've heard that the Jiang family's eldest daughter is quite a handful. You're about to enter an arranged marriage with her, yet you're sitting so close to another beautiful woman. Be careful, or Miss Jiang might find out and cause a scene with you." Talk about perfect timing. I immediately seized the opportunity and feigned surprise. "You're getting married. Congratulations." Sean instantly became flustered. "Sister, don't listen to her nonsense. I would never agree to an arranged marriage with the Jiang family." I couldn't resist, boasting, "Actually, I've met Miss Jiang once when I was in Europe. She's not only beautiful but also intelligent, an excellent match for marriage." Sean snorted. "So what? I wouldn't give her a second glance." "Ha, think you're too good for me, do you?" I fixed my gaze on Sean's eyes and said gently, "Then what do you think of me?" Sean's breath seemed to vanish. He stared at me blankly, looking utterly dumbstruck. Then the fool blushed and nodded. I felt mischievous. "What a shame." Sean froze, disbelieving. "What did you say?" I shook my head. "Nothing." "What about your brother? Does he have a girlfriend?" Sean asked cautiously. "Sis, do you still like my brother?" His words seemed to suddenly ignite Sean's nerves. "I know what to do now." He abruptly stood up, eyes gleaming. "Sis, I've got something to take care of. Gotta go." With that, Sean became as energetic as if he'd been injected with adrenaline, darting off in a flash, leaving me utterly baffled that evening when I stepped out of the shower. Finally figured out which nerve Sean was burning with today, because I stared at the message Sean sent, dumbfounded. "You want me to switch arranged marriage partners and marry your brother?" 6 Sean was still typing frantically. How about that? Pretty considerate of me, right? My brother is the rightful heir of the Hoare family. I can arrange a top-tier match for you straight away. If you marry my brother, I guarantee that whatever my father promised your family will be delivered in full. Me, wait a minute, didn't he say you wanted to call off the engagement just a few days ago? Sean, my father refused. He even called me an idiot. Evelyn Jiang, did you remotely cast a hex on my dad? Me, what an idiot system you. Unsent a message. Sean, what did you unsend? I didn't see it. Me, if even your dad doesn't agree, then your brother's side must be even more hopeless. Landon, ho aloof and ascetic with an extremely strong sense of boundaries. An absurd arrangement like a proxy marriage for his younger brother. Anyone with half a brain could tell he'd never agree. Sean, not at all. My brother has always been good to me. He agreed as soon as I asked. What the hell has Landon changed this much in just a few years? Then what were those 3 months of mine for? I gritted my teeth and said, fine, it's settled then. Sean, just like that, don't you want to think it over or make any demands? Suddenly struck by inspiration, Sean asked, could it be you've actually had a crush on my brother all along? A crush wherein you the one who saw firsthand how hard I worked to chase after your brother back then. Oh, he is a clown now, and still doesn't he realize it, Sean? As messages keep popping up. That doesn't matter as long as you and my brother work out. My dad will naturally ease up. My brother isn, he just tall and handsome, he is also mature and steady. You're lucky to marry him. Ha, so I'm the lucky one, hummy, really? Then letting me take such a big advantage wouldn't that be too much? Shy. Sean, you'd better know that I'm warning you. If you ever dare to do anything to hurt my brother, I'll make sure you regret it. Got it? Me, your brother is so wonderful, of course I wouldn't cheat on him. Sean, I'll send you my brother's contact info. Me, no need, I'm returning to New York tomorrow. Arrange for me to meet your brother tonight. Sean, you're quite enthusiastic. Sean sent a voice message sounding in high spirits and utterly relaxed. Considering you'll soon be family as my sister-in-law, I promise to find you a romantic and atmospheric restaurant. Guaranteed to enhance your relationship. Sean really went all out. He booked out the entire restaurant. This venue offers the best night view overlooking all of New York. Miss Jiang, please come in. Mr. Who has already arrived. I nodded, the click of my high heels against the polished marble floor blending into the soothing piano melody. Following the waiter's gesture, I spotted Landon at a glance. He sat by the window dressed in a black shirt. His eyes were indifferent with 2 buttons at the collar undone, revealing half of his collarbone. Compared to the aggressive coldness of 5 years ago, Landon now resembled a snow-dusted pine, more mature and alluring. The next second, as if sensing my gaze, Landon turned to look at me. A flicker of surprise flashed in his eyes, but I still caught it. Very well, I'm quite satisfied. Back then you couldn't be bothered with me, but now you have no choice but to sit obediently at the same table for this arranged marriage. I curved my lips into a smile and walked over to take a seat opposite Landon. Long time no see, Senior. Landon quickly composed himself, his voice gentle. Should I call you Selena or Evelyn Jiang or? I leaned in closer to him, blinking playfully. You can call me wife if you want. The next second my whole body stiffened. Landon brushed away the hair clinging to my lips. As he raised his hand, a faint scent of bitter orange drifted into my nose. Wife. He withdrew his hand and pushed the menu toward me. See what you'd like to eat. I immediately straightened up, took the menu, and lowered my head to pretend to read it. Help, wasn't I the one teasing him? How did I end up blushing instead? Why, isn't this guy playing by the usual rules? No way. Steadying myself, I raised my chin and pointed at a few dishes on the menu with feigned composure, then picked up the red wine to savor it slowly. The taste is quite good. It seems Sean has spared no expense. It was Landon who spoke first. I'm sorry about the matter of changing the arranged marriage partner. Sean has been spoiled since childhood and refuses to listen to discipline. I, as his older brother, bear some responsibility for that too. He stood up, a faint smile playing at the corners of his lips as he refilled my glass. Following Langdon's movement, I noticed the collar of his shirt was designed a bit too open. When Langdon slightly leaned forward from my angle, the view beneath his clothes was completely exposed. His figure was quite impressive. Where it should be big, it was big. Where it should be pink, it was pink. And where it should be firm, it looked quite firm indeed. I raised my eyes, my gaze settling on his aloof face that remained oblivious to the exposure and feigned grievance. But I was heartbroken for so long after being rejected by your brother. Since you want to apologize on his behalf, Senior, how do you plan to make it up to me? Landon looked at me. He'd grown much gentler in temperament over the years we hadn't met. Name your terms, Miss Jiang. Anything within my power I'll do. Is that so? I rested my chin on my hand, my gaze lingering on the red mole above his collarbone, and smiled. Since we're about to be married soon, how about letting me test the goods tonight, Senior? After all, you're already 29 this year. How do I know if you're still up to it? 8. As expected, Landon frowned at my words. I knew he wouldn't agree. Who told him to be so cold to me back then? Now that I got the chance, I'm going to make sure he suffers for it. I withdrew my hand with a pitying look. Well, it's normal for men at that age to have certain unspeakable difficulties, I understand. Landon raised his brows and smiled. Miss Jiang, are you worried about your married life? How do we jump to marriage? I arched an eyebrow. Exactly, after all, a 29-year-old is practically an old man, can't compare to younger brothers. I've never lost a battle of wits. My phone suddenly lit up beside me. I glanced sideways. It was an alert notification from our home surveillance system. What a coincidence. The very day I returned yesterday, my parents disappeared. Auntie Sue said my father took my mother out to hide from debt collectors. But the cigar box my father often used on the table was empty, though the ashtray was still warm. Besides, what family on the brink of bankruptcy and dodging debt would still live in a villa with a butler? So I bought a new surveillance camera and let Aunt Sue go home to rest. I clicked on it and sure enough saw my parents sneaking back into the villa to retrieve the black card they'd forgotten to take with them last night. Even the pigeon blood ruby necklace my mother is wearing was auctioned for $6 million last month. It's so glaringly obvious I knew it all along. This bankruptcy story is totally fake. I sprang to my feet abruptly, still maintaining a smile. Senior, I have something to attend to. I'll take my leave now. Without waiting for Landon's response, I grabbed my bag and hurried out in a huff. Jong-young, just you wait, see how I'll tear my dearest apart tonight. My wrist was suddenly grabbed. Confused, I turned around. The next second our eyes met. Those narrow pitch black eyes like splashed ink resembled a vast swamp, damp, sticky, and suffocating. How could this possibly be Landon? I blinked in disbelief. What's wrong? Are your eyes uncomfortable? His expression remained aloof and unapproachable. I must have been mistaken. I rubbed my eyes. It's nothing. My contact lenses seemed to be slipping a bit. Will that affect Ms. Jong's inspection tonight? I froze, thinking I'd misheard. What did you say? He leaned in, stopping just centimeters away from me. Behind me, the city's neon lights shimmered as the piano piece in my ears reached its crescendo. My heart pounded wildly. Tell me, I asked, which hotel do you prefer? He looked at me, his beautiful eyelashes fluttering slightly. Or would you rather inspect the goods at home? 9. The Langdon residence had black leather sofas. At this moment, they gleamed wetly. Landon had a pair of hands exceptionally suited for playing the piano, long, slender, and dexterous. My scalp tingled from the kisses. How did you learn these things? Picked up a few from educational films. Landon swept me up into his arms. This is too cramped. Let us go to the bedroom. But when we reached the bedroom, and I truly saw it clearly, I stammered instantly, "Oh, Landon, maybe we should just forget it." Landon was amused by my expression. Miss Jong, not going to check anymore. I lowered my head, staring at the thin layer of skin on my stomach. Only 4 words echoed in my mind. Digging your own grave. Landon chuckled softly as he leaned down to fasten the button on my blouse. Miss Jong, in the future, don't make promises you can't keep when it comes to food you can't finish. Mocking me, who says I can't eat this? I grabbed Landon's hand and forcefully tackled him to the ground. Flipping over, I sat astride him and bit down on that crimson mole. A torrential rain began outside the window. Through the haze, I thought I saw something inside the open bedside drawer. There lay a long silver chain along with a pair of pink lambskin handcuffs. They looked as if they had been there for quite some time. My voice came out hoarse. What are those for? Sweat trickled down my chest. Landon's heavy breathing sounded against my neck as he murmured, to lock you up. Lock me up? What did that mean? Before I could think any further, a blinding white light flashed before my eyes, fierce and vicious, until I was abruptly awakened by urgent knocking at the door. Squinting, I glanced at the loosely drawn curtains. The rain had long stopped and daylight streamed in brightly. The rustling sound of someone dressing came from beside me. Landon's voice was soft. You didn't sleep at all last night? Rest well, I'll get the door. TCH, as if you didn't know. I rolled over. What's it like to wake up next to your former crush? My back hurts like it's about to break. Damn, it is Landon, some kind of perpetual motion machine reincarnated. And here I thought I was tough enough to run a half marathon, yet I actually passed out. But damn, it was good while it lasted. Someone just walked in. Bro, why didn't you reply to my message last night? I froze. It was Sean who had arrived. Sean, couldn't he wait? So, did everything go smoothly last night? Yeah, it went pretty well. He grabbed Landon's hand. Bro, I'll repay this debt of gratitude in this lifetime, the next, and the one after that I'll serve you like an ox or a horse if I have to. When I finally win over my white moonlight, I'll definitely have you as my best man. Langdon withdrew his hand, his voice cold. No need. What do you mean no need? This is like giving me a second chance at life. Holy shit, bro, your neck. Did you guys last night? No wonder you didn't reply to my messages. Sean exclaimed in shock. Now that the rice is cooked, Dad will have to accept it whether he likes it or not. That's my brother for you, quick, precise, and ruthless. I got up and got dressed. A momentary slip sent my watch clattering to the floor with a loud thud. What was that noise? Is Evelyn Jiang still at your place? Landon corrected him. Call her sister-in-law. Got it, sister-in-law. I listened as the footsteps drew closer to the bedroom. Sean said excitedly, then I should greet my future sister-in-law and make a good impression. And my white moonlight, hasn't he replied to my messages since last night? Since you're a woman too, sister-in-law, you're perfect to help me analyze the situation. The bedroom door was knocked on immediately. Sean called out loudly, sister-in-law, are you in there? I'm coming in now. She is still resting. Don't disturb her. Langdon spoke up to stop him. The motion of opening the door froze. Oh, brother, already taking care of her. Sean's voice was teasing. What a loving couple. How is the relationship going? I curved my lips slightly and opened the door directly. It's alright, I won't disturb you. Sister-in-law is still the best. Sean turned his head with a smile. In the next second, all expression froze on his face. Sister, what are you doing here? He glanced behind me. Where? Evelyn Jiang. I smiled. I am her. Impossible. Sean pushed me aside and strode into the bedroom, yanking open the wardrobe to rummage through each item. She even got down on the floor, not sparing the space under the bed, determined to find the second person hiding in the room. No need to look anymore. I walked up to him, bending over with hands on my knees. I told you it's me. Otherwise, think about why Selena hasn't replied to your messages since last night until now. Sean remained lying prone on the ground, his eyes growing increasingly red. Impossible. How could you possibly be Evelyn Jiang? Don't lie to me. I don't find this joke funny at all. He looked up at Landon and said, bro, you agree, right? Landon walked over and pulled him up. I've already told Dad about changing the marriage candidate. He agreed the announcement of my engagement to the Jiang family will be made public next month. No need, bro. Sean grabbed his brother's hand urgently, his voice tense. I was mistaken before. She is the white moonlight I told you about. I'll marry her myself. But the hickey on Landon's neck now was glaring. It stung his eyes painfully, making his elation from just minutes ago seem increasingly idiotic. Sean, marriage alliances aren't child's play. You can't just take it or leave it as you please. Langdon withdrew his hand, his voice icy. What makes you think I should listen to you now? 11. Sean's eyes widened in disbelief. Bro, what did you just say? Langdon lifted his gaze, his tone indifferent. I said Evelyn Jung's fiancé is me now. Bro, but I genuinely like her, have liked her for so many years. I know. Sean was taken aback, you know. Langdon didn't hold back at all, his eyes even carrying a hint of mockery. Ever since you came to school to find me that time and ran into Serena, not only did you start hovering around me after school every day, but you also went on a diet and copied my fashion style. Do you think I'm blind? Since you know, then why are you still competing with me for her? Sean's voice was hoarse as he grabbed Landon's arm. Bro, you've always given in to me since we were kids. Can you give in to me this time too? I really like her. Landon sneered. What makes you think I don't like her? My heart skipped a beat. Holy shit, what kind of earth-shattering gossip is this? Langdon actually likes me. Then why didn't you agree when she pursued you back then? The next second Sean seemed to suddenly understand something and let out an abrupt mocking laugh. Because you simply didn't dare, brother. You've been too good these years, so good that I almost forgot you're actually a fucking. Sean. Langdon sharply cut him off. Sean released his grip and grabbed Langdon by the collar instead. The atmosphere instantly became tense. I say, you two, what's all this talk about snatching and yielding? I sat on the edge of the bed swinging my legs, watching the two of them with a light laugh. After all, it's me who's getting married through this alliance. Aren't you going to ask for my opinion? Sean was the first to react. He released Landon, took 2 large strides to stand before me, and half knelt at my feet, blocking the way completely. He was tall and arrogant. Usually imposing in front of others, he now resembled a tamed wolf dog with its head bowed. Sis, I'm sorry, I didn't know it was you before. Pitifully, he pleaded, I know I was wrong. Can you just forgive me this once? I nodded earnestly, and said of course you can. Sean's eyes lit up as if he'd grasped a lifeline. But I looked at him, and curved my lips, slightly. We're not a good match. The boomerang came full circle, hitting right between the eyes. Sean instantly panicked. He grabbed my hand, still trying to explain something, but I stood up and cut him off. I walked up to Landon. As for you, senior. I paused, then leaned close to his ear. Did you really think sleeping with you once would make me obediently agree to marry you? I chased after you for so long now that I've slept with you once. We're even. I tilted my head and looked into his eyes. For the first time, I saw blankness in his usual calm demeanor, even a hint of helplessness. My heart instantly exploded with satisfaction. All right then, I said cheerfully, slipping on my coat like a heartless scoundrel who just turned cold. Let's talk about the arranged marriage another time. I'm off now. Bye. I left and hailed a cab straight to the Four Seasons Hotel. The presidential suite on the top floor had 1 room left. The front desk quickly checked me in and handed me the key card. Each key card only grants access to its corresponding elevator floor. There were 2 presidential suites on the top floor. I went upstairs and headed straight for the other one. Hello, hotel service. I knocked on the door, lowering my voice to a whisper. The familiar voice indeed came from inside. We didn't order room service. There were some minor issues with the bed sheets and duvet covers we changed for you this morning. I'm here to replace them with new ones. The door opened from inside. The next second it was abruptly slammed shut. I grabbed the door frame with a forced smile. Mom, Dad, what a coincidence. What are you doing here? My dad let go of his hand and started laughing awkwardly, his little mustache twitching. Sweetie, you're back in New York. When did you return? You didn't even tell your dad. I could picked you up. I didn't answer, scanning the entire room. Didn't our family go bankrupt? How can we still afford such a nice hotel and a presidential suite at that? Baby, don't be mad. My mom hugged my arm and whispered, your dad, and I really had no choice. The Hoare family offered way too much. So you just sold me off? My dad chuckled. Oh, come on, don't call it selling, mainly because we've met that Hoare family boy. That physique and face are exactly your type. I took a deep breath. Go on, how much did you sell it for? My mother looked sheepish and held up 3 fingers. 3 million. She shook her head. 30 million. My mother still shook her head. I frowned. It can't possibly be 300 million, can it? My mother, it's 3 billion, a full 3 billion. Me, alright, I admit, there's really no way around that. 13. I brought my parents back home from the hotel. It was a hot weekend. I curled up on the sofa, stroking the fur of my chubby little dog. The financial news was playing on TV. The new CEO of the Hoare Group traveled to the UK to sign a groundbreaking AI strategic partnership, setting the record for the largest single deal in the same field in the US. I stared at the man in a suit on the screen. No wonder there had been fewer updates these past 2 days. Miss Aunt Sue came back from outside, sweat on her forehead. Young Master Sean is here again. I stroked Xiao Fei as for ignore him. Aunt Sue looked troubled. But it's so hot today. What if he passes out from heat stroke? How would we explain it to the Hoare family? As they say, speak of the devil. The patrolling security guards in the neighborhood knocked on my door, carrying the unconscious Sean. I stood at the doorway watching Sean in the guard's arms, his eyes closed but eyelids twitching incessantly. Taking a deep breath, I stepped aside, help him to the guest room. Aunt Sue hurried to fetch the first aid kit. Upon seeing this, no need. I called out to Annie Sue, then turned and went into the kitchen to grab 3 bitter gourds from the fridge. Without adding water, I blended them and carried the bowl to the guest room. Just as I reached the door, the bowl was lifted from my hands. Let me do it. I turned around. Landon stood behind me. His striking eyes were streaked with red veins, dark circles shadowing beneath them. His crisp suit was already wrinkled, as if he had rushed back in a hurry, without time to rest. Auntie Sue followed behind Landon and explained to me, this gentleman says he asked Sean's older brother. They do look alike. So it's fine, Auntie, so you can go now. I turned to Landon. Where into you in England? Landon licked his dry lips, took the red eye flight, just got back. I nodded and stepped aside to let Landon through the door. She sat on the edge of the bed. Sean, with his eyes closed, felt the mattress dip under her weight. A secret thrill ran through him. He'd known his sister wouldn't abandon him. His voice came out sickly sweet. Sis, my head hurts so bad. Am I dying? But if sister could just hug me the next second. His mouth was forcefully pried open. Bitter and dry, the stuff poured mercilessly straight into his mouth. Sean was forced to drink until he retched, his eyes snapping open abruptly. Standing before him was none other than his dear elder brother. Sean shoved Landon away violently and sat up, baring his teeth. Why are you back? Landon slammed the bowl heavily onto the bedside table, his face expressionless. If I didn't come back, would I have to wait for you to steal from me? Sean leaped off the bed in a flash. Me steal from you? Clearly you're the shameless one. You clearly knew my sister is Evelyn Jiang, yet you hypocritically agreed. Besides, your engagement with her hasn't even announced, yet I still have a chance. Landon's voice turned low and dangerous. Say that again. Sean leaned in with a shameless grin. And what difference would it make even if it were announced? My sister can handle the heavy responsibilities. If I can't be the primary wife, can I at least be the secondary? Once I'm the secondary one, there be opportunities to rise higher. 14. A series of clattering noises erupted from the guest room. Auntie Sue looked worriedly toward the guest room door. Miss. I lowered my head and took a deep sniff of the dog. Still, little Chub is the best, freshly bathed, fragrant, and soft. I stood up holding little Chub. Auntie Sue, please take the trouble to tally everything later and bill them 10 times the purchase price. When I woke up from my afternoon nap, looking at the long list, 50,000. Feeling quite cheerful. As for the two money gods, they sat at opposite ends of the sofa, with their heads turned away, faces sour as could be. Having spent 50,000, of course, there's no problem staying for dinner at my place. I agreed without hesitation and gave Auntie Sue 10,000 of the money. After all, she'd been busy all afternoon taking inventory of the guest rooms and doing accounts. Making extra dishes in the evening would be too much work. By the time dinner came around, Mom and Dad sat across from me as usual. Only now Landon occupied my left side, while Sean sat to my right. An unusually strange atmosphere hung over the dining table, with only my father remaining completely oblivious. He kept pouring whiskey glass after glass, his eyes filled with nothing but admiration for Landon. Xiaowan, you did an excellent job on that UK project this time. Your uncle is truly impressed. My father's face flushed red as he said, come on, let us have another drink. Landon turned his head to glance at Sean, who wore a look of disdain. Raising his glass with humble tone, he said, I'll still need Uncle's guidance in the future. My dad laughed heartily. Not bad, mature and steady. What mature and steady? Sean muttered through gritted teeth, viciously poking at the fish in his bowl. Yes, just an old man. I glanced sideways at him. Sean instantly caught my look, his eyes turning docile. Sis, don't go for old men, they're no good. I didn't respond, casually remarking, eat properly. Sean glared resentfully at Landon, who was chatting and laughing with my father. No, I can't just sit back and do nothing. He might not be as good at business as Landon, and there's no way he can catch up to him in the short term. But he's young, a full 6 years younger than Landon. Sis, Sean whispered as he leaned closer to me, careful not to be overheard. If I pretend to leave with my brother, first, will you still let me in tonight? I have a gift. I want to give you 15. Landon had been drinking. Sean refused to be the driver. In the end, it was the Hoare family who came to pick them up. I played a few rounds of games and took a shower. It was almost 1 o'clock already. I didn't take Sean's words seriously and was just about to go to sleep. Behind the tightly closed curtains, there was a faint rustling sound. The wind blew and followed immediately by a dark figure flipping in with practiced ease. Holy shit, I jumped up from the bed in fright, my heart pounding wildly. Sis, it's me. I turned on the light. Sean stood by the bed, wearing a sleeveless tank top, his arm muscles bulging. His hair was slightly messy, with a smudge of dust on his temple from who knows where. His eyes sparkled as he looked at me like a large dog that had sneaked in. Most importantly, he actually had a big fluffy puppy tail wagging behind him. I was stunned. What are you doing? Sean knelt on my bed, looking up at me. Sis, I'm 6 years younger than my brother. Try me one TU, I'm really good, definitely better than him. As he finished speaking, his entire ears turned red, even his neck began to flush. I instantly understood his intention, playing with the dog. I pretended to hesitate, but you warned me no cheating, or you'd kill me. Sean retorted, but you're not with my brother yet. But now I'm your brother's fiancé in name. Sean deflated immediately. Fine. Then he perked up. Wait, I'm not a person right now, I'm a dog. His tense face instantly lit up again, and the tail behind him seemed to respond to the call, wagging vigorously. Sean grabbed the tail and placed it in my hands. This playing with the dog is fine, it doesn't count as cheating. Woof woof woof, what the hell? But I'm on my period. 16. By the time I woke up the next day, Sean was already gone. The bedding on the floor had also been neatly folded and placed on the table. I stretched and got up to have breakfast. Since I was the only one living on the first floor, no one noticed Sean's visit last night. As for the iron gate outside, Sean said little Fatty had opened it for him. So they really are the same kind. I sat down and had just finished half a bowl of porridge. The Hoare family called after hearing the news. My vision went dark. I drove straight to the Hoare residence. Both Landon and Sean were sporting bruises. But clearly Sean was worse off, and the tail Sean had used to charm me last night was now clutched in old man Hui's hand. My vision darkened again, and again old man Hui glared at the two of them and sneered, neither of you wants to talk, huh? Butler, you tell us. The butler stammered. Actually, I didn't hear very clearly. Old master Hui thumped his cane loudly on the ground. Speak, tell us what you know. Well, young master returned early this morning and happened to run into eldest master. Then they started arguing. The butler swallowed hard. Young master said, he is younger than eldest master, and eldest master cannot flirt him. Then the young master said, if you're such a slut, why didn't she sleep with you? Bastards, every last one of you. The man in racing gear leaned casually against the car, his waist narrow and legs long. Old Mr. Hua's face flushed red with anger. The next second, he turned to look at me, trembling in the corner. Miss Jiang, please come with me to the study. 17. Hey, beautiful, can I get your contact info? I shook my head. Hawaii was at peak season, and the beach was crowded. Chloe took a sip of her orange juice and teased, you just left like that. Those two brothers must be going crazy looking for you. I took off my sunglasses, but I did take $5 billion from their dad. When you take someone's money, you solve their problems. Originally, Uncle, who just thought Sean liked me and wanted me to rein in his fiery temper. But now, for the sake of a woman, brothers turning against each other, the Hua family would never allow such a thing. Chloe clicked her tongue. So you really don't like either of them at all? Of course I do. I kissed my phone, but ISNT that $5 billion even more tempting. Chloe frowned. I have a feeling those 1T give up so easily. Don't worry, I had someone erase my tracks. They 1T find us. The next second, Chloe suddenly grabbed my arm. Look, those two people, don't they look familiar? I followed her gaze. This ISNT just similar. It's a complete disaster. The end.